Hi everyone. I sketched out my current drawing here of a flapper girl from the 1920s, and I thought I'd make a video of how I color her in, like that process with marker, colored pencil, maybe a watercolor background. And while I do so, I thought I would talk about the 1920s fashion and how it was such a poignant moment in costume history. It was kind of controversial, but also pretty freeing for people. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I love creating women in historical, whimsical, and fantastical settings. My background is in history and fashion, so getting to talk about fashion history with my art is a dream, honestly. If I were to ask you, what do you think of when you think of the 1920s, what would come to mind? Maybe flapper girls, speakeasies, the Great Gatsby, parties. And I would agree with all those characteristics. The 20s, or the Roaring 20s, is a huge part of American history. Hemlines began to rise in the early 1920s, waistlines lowered, and the cut of the clothing worn was unfitted and considered an androgynous silhouette. Women are cutting their hair short, and there's an overall carefree attitude, especially amongst the young generation. So why the change? When looking at fashion history in the 1920s, we need to talk about what is happening in the world. Now, I am referencing the Western world, primarily the United States in this video. And by 1920, America, as well as a handful of other countries, are freshly out of World War I. During World War I, there were regulations on fashion, much like during World War II. And fashion at the time had high waistlines, long skirts, and layered garments. And though the cut was much more movable than in the Edwardian era, which was around 1900 to 1910, there was still a narrower silhouette. And after World War I, the fashion regulations are gone, and fashion is soon beginning to change with the spirit of the time. There's a sense of freedom in America after World War I and the Great Influenza epidemic, also known as the Spanish flu. And by the early 1920s, the economy is booming and new growth opportunities are happening around the nation. The 19th Amendment was passed in August of 1920, which prohibited denying one's ability to vote based on sex. So women continue to get involved outside of the home. That would be working and making their own money, or even joining social clubs like garden clubs. This specific social group of women are known as flappers, and they are going against the social norms, cutting their hair short, drinking in speakeasies, smoking, and having romantic endeavors without marital propositions. They are dancing the night away and not having a care in the world. We see women wearing rouge, which is red lipstick and blush. And for us in 2024, we may not see red lipstick as a big deal, but in the 1920s, that was scandalous. Red lips and heavy makeup were worn only by ladies who had perhaps a more questionable lifestyle, if you know what I'm saying. Again, I am talking about the American culture and makeup here. But now it was a staple for the flapper girl as she danced to Charleston, and her long necklace sparkled in the lamplight of the speakeasies. Now, did every woman become a flapper? No. Matronly ladies may have kept their hair long or wore dresses with longer hems. But just like today in 2024, the trends start with the youthful. Other styles of fashion for women were blouses and skirts under a long, unfitted cardigan introduced by haute couture designer Gabrielle or Coco Chanel. Dresses were typically one piece with V-necks and scoop necks. These dresses were sometimes heavily beaded with gorgeous designs and patterns mirroring the popular artistic movement known as the Art Deco period. And hair accessories included cloche hats and headbands with perhaps feathers or beaded designs. I really wanted to capture the carefree and happiness of the Roaring 20s with a flapper having fun, dancing the night away, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, hit the notification button, and let me know in the comments what fashion period you'd like to see me draw and talk about next. Bye!